Hey, on my sisters and brothers, thank you for joining us on Movement Es Medicina, a Super Mark Rock podcast. I am Super Mark Rock, Dr. Mark A. Lopez. Movement Es Medicina is just that, a movimiento, a movement. I am aiming to motivate the gente, the people, community to build healthy habits and healthy rituals by speaking to mi gente, my community, my A1s, mi hermanas y hermanos, dope, educated individuals by exploring their active lifestyles and mental well-being strategies so we can collectively recognize our dopeness in that process. Speaking of dope, educated individuals, I'm so excited about this guest, Judith Rawls, Esquire, aka a dope mama to Abigail and partner to the number one hype man and pit crew chief, Carlos, aka a proud alumni of the University of Michigan Law School and Hampton University, aka a dope individual. And want to welcome to the Movement Es Medicina podcast. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. But I'm doing well.
Good. Absolutely. That's not even the tip of who you are as a professional and on the personal side. I just really want to take a moment real quick to thank you, Los and the Rawls family, as well as Abigail, for rocking with Movement Es Medicina, for being a part of the familia from Jump Street from early on. Y'all have been amazing supporters in Houston. Love it. Look at that. Rocking Movement Es Medicina gear. Rocking it at various Houston events, being just a tremendous community every time we visited and spent time in our community with together. So thank y'all to Little Rawls.
Of course.
For being
I had to wear
corner.
the shirt today.
I
might
love
be
it.
a little bit hot being in Texas. I might be sweating right now, but I didn't have to wear the shirt today.
I love it. No, I thank you. I appreciate the support as always. Give me another second. I want to give our listeners and our viewers an opportunity to get to know you a little more. I want to read your bio, if you won't mind. Indulge me. Okay. Judith concentrates her practice in intellectual property law with a focus on patent preparation and prosecution and client counseling. Judith has experience in handling a broad range of intellectual property matters, including drafting patent applications, performing analysis and rendering options related to patentability, non-infringement, and validity, and maintaining intellectual property portfolios. In addition, her experience is preparing and prosecuting patent applications with experience in patent litigation matters. You have a bachelor's from Hampton University and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Michigan Law School. I know.
Yes. I need to update my bio. As soon as you read all that, that's the first thing I thought in my head was, I need to update this bio.
a little prompt to update it a bit, but I love it. It shares a bit about your professional background and who you are on the professional side. So I wanted to give our listeners, our viewers, an opportunity to get to know you a bit and on the professional side. So let's get to the personal side a bit. I want to ask a few lightning round questions. So don't think too much. Whatever comes to mind, just whatever's top of mind, just shoot it out. Is that cool?
Yep.
All right, ready. Here we go. Favorite food?
Oh, God. Korean
food. Better cook, you or Los?
Jong, to be exact.
UK Jong. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Better cook, you or Los?
Oh, definitely, Carlos. That's easy. It's not even a competition. Better mixed drink maker, better cook, like anything around food and drink. That's all
Carlos. That's all Carlos. Michigan or Texas?
Oh, Michigan. That's not even a. Is that a comparison?
I just had to ask for the listeners and viewers out there. I got to put it out there.
Yes.
Your go-to pre-run fuel.
Ooh. I still stick with the sport bees. The Jelly Belly.
Yeah, you love those sport bees, don't you?
I've been using them for years now. I've tried so much stuff too, but those
they
are
work.
the one consistent things.
They work for you. They work for you. Favorite movie?
Oh, okay. That one's tough, but one that I've always liked and I watch all the time still is Hero. It's like a martial arts film. Do you remember that one?
I do.
Oh, I loved it. The colors, like the cinematography was really good, but then the message and the story behind it and the history of uniting China into one country, I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty dope way that they did it. They put the movie together. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite race you have done to date?
Favorite race?
Hmm.
The one where I won? That was
It
like
should be. It
years
should
and years and years ago, decades
be.
ago,
Hey,
when I
that's
was
your
much
favorite one.
younger.
That's your
I
favorite
was the
one.
first female across the finish line for a 5K, and I still have the trophy that they gave
You
me.
should. As well as you should be right there behind you in your office. So the first thing people see on your Zoom, that
Yeah.
trophy should be there.
Doesn't
Are you
matter
a
what year I earned that. I
We'll leave that
deserve
out.
it.
We'll leave that out. We'll just it was that's your favorite race, the one you won. That's
Yeah.
right. Are you an AM or PM runner?
Oh, oh, I guess I'm an AM runner, but not by choice. Like, I don't enjoy running in the morning at all. I would be a PM runner, except in
Mm.
Houston, it's a million degrees in the PM. And it's luckily like only, upper 70s, low 80s, when it's in the summer in the morning. So, yeah, I don't. Yeah. So, not by choice. I am an AM runner.
All right. All right. Favorite US city?
DC.
DC. Favorite
Yeah.
genre of music?
Oh, hip hop.
All right. Favorite
Yeah.
international city?
Ah, that was a tough one. Oh my gosh. Let me think of the one I'd want to go back to actually. I like Bahamas, Nassau,
So,
which is odd because there are so many cities that I really love that I want to go back to, but that's probably the only one that I've gone back to multiple times. And I do try to like instead of going back to the same place, how some people
mhm.
go back over and over again. I typically want to try somewhere new, but that's one that I typically go
All
back
right.
to.
All
So
right. All right. And
I do love it.
last, give us a proud mama moment.
Proud mama moments. Oh goodness. Uh,
I know that's not
so
really a lightning
many.
round. I know there's so many
I
with
know.
Abigail.
She's 10 now. I got 10 years
I
of
know.
proud mom moments. um, I yeah, maybe I'll go with something small. More recently, I'm always proud of her. I guess because she runs track, which is also my favorite sport, and I try to keep track in her hands as much as possible, just because I know that's my favorite sport, and you know how overbearing parents can be when they love sports and, and their kid is in that sport. Um, but I think for me, it's her hard work on her own
Mm,
that that I really enjoy. Like when she really wants something, she really focuses on and pursues that, and it's
mm,
hard. It's I guess maybe amazing for me to see at her age. 'Cause she's 10 now, but it was 8 years old
goodness.
when
Yeah.
she was like, this is it. This is what I want to do, like extracurricular,
Mhm.
and we're like running year round, but
Yeah.
in
Yes, I
Texas.
love it. Right, right, in
But I
Texas.
was not that focused or that committed,
Mm.
not anywhere,
And
not as
she
a kid period.
is. What? Right, right, and she is, like, locked
And even
in.
as an adult, it took some time. So, so it's kind of cool to see that, at such
Mm,
a young age. So,
that's amazing.
yes.
That's amazing. That's it. Those are my lightning round questions, Judith, that you can
Awesome.
relax, take a deep breath. Just an opportunity
Well,
for
they
our
were fun.
viewers. Huh?
So
They
they
were
were
fun.
fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, just an opportunity for our listeners, our viewers to connect with you a bit on your interest on the personal side. We had some of the professional, but now just opportunity for them to connect with you on the personal tips. So let's get into the conversation. I know you have an amazing journey, amazing story, and one that I think in previous conversations you mentioned that you did not believe it was a wellness journey, and I want to start there
Mhm.
because I believe that in our wellness journey that we are in, it's simultaneous with our healing journey that we have embarked on. So I want to ask you, when do you think your wellness journey began?
Mm. That is a good question. I think the reason I'm going to start with why I say I never felt like I had a wellness journey is
Hmm.
because it felt for a long time less intentional, right?
Mm,
And even now, I guess I do things intentionally, but I don't look at it in the grand scheme of like, oh, this is for my wellness. To me, I just view it as this is what I need to, to get through the
right,
day, right? To get through the
right.
week, to get through whatever's going on in my life. So
Yeah.
I would say probably though, it started probably when I became a lawyer, to be honest, because
Mm.
let's be real, it's just a stressful job.
Yes, it is. Yes,
It
it
was
is.
really stressful when I first
Mhm.
started out because I was doing litigation, which is just
Mm,
naturally stressful in and of itself. And
mm,
then, while I'm not doing that, I've gone into something different. It's still quite stressful, but in a different way. And so
mhm,
early on in my career, I've always ran, right? Just for exercise. And, I
mhm,
love running. But I wasn't consistent at all. I
mhm.
mean, I had long periods where I just did nothing and it was fine. But then, early on in my career as a lawyer, I was getting really stressed out.
Okay.
And I could see, I mean, I was taking it home from work. That's how I knew, right? And
Right,
it's like,
right,
okay,
right.
I need to do something. So I got back into running then. So that was
Mm,
kind of the first step because when I run, I clear my mind. Like,
mhm.
even if I have like physical tension in my shoulders, which I do, this is where I carry my stress right in here. I just, by the time I'm done, I can feel the difference in my shoulders, right?
Mm.
That I don't have the tension there.
Right.
So that's kind of where I started initially, however many years ago. Won't say how old I am,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
but,
yeah,
but
yeah.
quite a few years ago. So,
No, I appreciate that because as you mentioned, you loved running, but you
yes,
didn't connect it, associate it with wellness or healing. You just it was
yeah.
joy. It was something a space that you just an activity that you love to do. What was the tell us about that? Like when did you fall in love with running and how did you fall in love? And I want to come back to that wellness piece, but
Yes.
the running
High
piece.
school, I
High
ran
school.
track.
Okay.
Yes. And I knew I loved running because I joined because of friends, right? In high school, you join all these things. I
Mhm,
joined basketball, I did
mhm.
cheerleading, and then I did track. And definitely cheerleading does not fit my personality. And people are always shocked when they hear that I was a cheerleader. And basketball, I mean, I was not, and I did basketball for a long time. I'm not the most coordinated with, basketball. It was not a good fit. But I started running, and just because friends joined, by the time I got to my senior year, I was the only one left. So I knew I liked it
Really?
then. I knew I
Mhm.
loved it then, just
Mm.
because, all my friends quit and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do something else." And I was like, "No, I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna stay with this." So to be the only senior, by the time I got to like my last year of running, to be the
Yeah.
only person left, and I was then at that point running year round. So I was doing cross country, indoor, outdoor, summer
Wow.
in Michigan, though, not in
In Michigan,
Texas.
not Texas. Big
That was
difference.
different.
Big difference. Yes, that's right.
So by then I just knew I loved it. So I would
Mm.
still run. Definitely not as much in college, right? But I still ran, just to get some exercise.
Okay.
And throughout the course of my life, I would still run. But I would
Mm.
say probably when I became a lawyer, I started running more consistently, running in a lot more 5Ks. That's when I won my 5K. So yes, that was when it became
Wow.
more consistent for me, as a
Mm.
way to relieve stress and because I enjoyed it.
Mhm, mhm, and you had I mean, in high school, you began that foundation, right?
I did.
You began the foundation of what it takes to become a runner as much as you participate in the joy of it, the competitiveness as a student athlete of it, but you had those foundational pieces of running and what that did for you, for your spirit, for your peace of mind, even in college, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. But like you said, it wasn't until you entered your professional chapter is what it did for your mental health and well-being. You made
Right.
that
I think there
connection.
was
Mhm.
definitely a shift. Whereas like when I was younger, I mean, now I can look at myself and say I clearly wasn't stressed out. Right. So did you have the stress about at that age is what
Mhm,
every adult says to their younger self. Um, But, it was the sport, right? It was competition. It was
mhm.
competition that I enjoyed. So I viewed it differently. And even when I went back to running, right, when it was more stress reliever, it still, obviously, because I was trying to win some 5Ks, became a little bit of a competition because
You
that's
are
the
competitive, you are
natural.
competitive, I'm not gonna lie, you are competitive. You are competitive, sis.
Yes, but that's the natural, I guess, mindset of where I was because that's how I started out running. I am not competitive now at any way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, there's some video, there's some pictures out there of you and Abigail and you and some others are and running your 5K. I'm just saying there's some there's
Oh,
some
yeah,
there's some there's some evidence out there about
that's
that
true.
competitive
That's
side.
true. What I tell her is the day that she can beat me, it's because she can legitimately beat me. It will not be because I let her win. So in that sense, yes. Maybe a little competitive. So, but now that
I love it.
say on that she can definitely beat me by minutes. So now it's
Mm.
just I'm running for my health.
No,
It's just
and I love it. And one of the conversations that a near and dear friend of ours, mutual friend Wendell Hall,
mhm.
had around the connection between exercise and mental health, and how early on in our own wellness journeys that we would seek out that space to relieve stress. I mean, you've seen the research, you've read, I'm sure you've shared your share of articles on what that does for you,
Yeah.
to relieve stress and to promote mental health. However, we talk about how we saw ourselves that becoming a crutch and an exit point of that stress, that whatever that stress point was, that that was bringing us in that moment, whether it was work, whether it was
Yeah.
personal, whether it was whatever the case may be, and how we did not want to associate wellness activities, specifically running, to that stress piece because that was the space that brought us joy. And you mentioned that you
Yeah.
enjoy running and you have joy running, but you noticed that you needed this activity to relieve that stress. What are your thoughts around that? That being that space of being a stress reliever, but does it conflict with that joy of the sport that you love so much, an activity you love so much?
It to me, it doesn't conflict. And the
Mm,
reason why I say this is because there are a lot of ways that people can reduce stress. But for me, luckily, I have a love of running, right?
yeah.
But I want to do something that I enjoy and it relieves stress, right? I mean, I could easily do probably yoga. That's one thing that I absolutely hate. I hate yoga with a passion. I know.
We've had those
I need
conversations
it.
too. We've
I
had those
probably need
conversations
it at
too.
this point because I need some flexibility, some core strength. I got all sorts of issues. I probably need it. But it was never going to be yoga because I don't like yoga. So for me, I think it's good to find a stress reliever that you also like because you
Mm,
won't stick with it, right? That's the
okay.
thing, right? And I need the stress
Okay.
reliever and I need a way to stick with it. And I don't want to turn to other things, right? Because for some people,
Yeah.
it might be food. For some people, it might
Yeah.
be drugs. It could be
Yeah.
alcohol. It could be whatever, right?
Mhm.
But for me, it's like this is a healthy way of reducing my stress and
Mm.
making me, but also enjoying it at the same time. So I don't
Mhm.
feel like it's so much of a conflict. It's just like it melds well together to create the right, opportunity for me to manage my stress. Right.
Mhm. Mhm. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And managing that stress, you identified that this is what you needed, the space that you love, something that brings you joy, which is running. And now as a mother and as a family woman, what you need outside of the workspace, outside of the home,
Mhm.
that me time
Yes.
is absolutely vital for our health. And you've noted that before in previous conversations. How do you prioritize that me time, that mental health, that mental wellness in your day-to-day life? I mean,
Oh, good
you're a
Lord.
professional, you're a partner, Abigail has activities, you have family
Oh,
activities.
yes.
How do
Yes.
you how do
Part-time Uber driver, part-time track coach.
exactly. How do you keep it
All
how
the
do you keep it on
community
moving?
orgs that I'm in, and
Mhm,
oh my gosh,
mhm.
it's some days when I talk about the stuff that I do, I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing all this to myself, but it's because I want, these are things that I want to do and I enjoy them,
Mm.
right? But they also, it's not like it keeps me busy, it keeps me stressed a little bit, right? Work mostly though. um, so it is a challenge, and I literally, like, whenever I find a time to, like, multitask, I will do it, right?
Mm.
So, like I said, part-time Uber driver, part-time track coach. When Abigail has practice, which is
Mhm.
literally 3 days a week, right?
Mm.
I'm also running 3 days a week. She does, like, body weight strength training, right? Which is
Mm.
great
Okay.
because I need strength training. I'm getting to an age where, like, strength training is becoming much more important, especially as a woman. Right? And so I'm like, "Oh, great, I can go do strength training," right? And I can go even though technically the session's for her, I always show up and I do the session with her. So I try
Good.
to, find ways to do that. Even, I didn't even notice I was doing this, but Carlos, noted this to me one day when we were, like, closing rings, right? Having friends that keep you honest, keep you in these competitions. That's
Hmm.
always
Hmm.
but when we were doing that, I would just walk around the house or whatever. I would, be on calls,
Mm.
right? Because I had, different calls in the evening and
Hmm.
I would just be on my phone, but I would just be active and walking and, just finding different ways to multitask. Some of it is just good old fashioned. I have to wake up earlier in the morning, which I don't
Right.
always love, and that's harder to do.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, whenever I can.
Okay. Okay. So
So,
share with us to that point. You have a number of hats and that you wear. What does your wellness routine look like? If you're going to practice 3 days a week, that's a part of it, of course. But
yes.
what does your wellness routine look like at the moment?
So definitely exercise,
Mm.
just because I have so many hats and I am a little bit more stressed these days. So I have to use the running to
Mm.
reduce my stress.
Mhm.
Reading for me is a big one. I've probably read about, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 books in the past couple of weeks, especially because, over the holidays, I had an extra time to do so. Spa, as I said, I took time on my birthday just
Okay.
to, get a massage, facial things that are relaxing, that
Yeah.
things are for me. But
Right.
just general though, sometimes I need quiet time
Me too.
too,
Mhm.
just so I can mentally like take a break, step away from what's going on. Because even if it's not work, I have to think about other stuff. What are we gonna have for dinner? Right?
Mhm.
Like, what do we
Mhm.
need to do around the house? What do I need to take Abigail? What do I need to plan for? So there's always something going on in my mind. And sometimes I just need quiet time. Like, I don't want any music.
Mm.
Like, so
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
and I try to get that, either I will encourage my husband to take my daughter on a daddy-daughter date if I really, need some time to myself, or actually between the two of us when we're home, she does a good job of also being okay with quiet time, like not necessarily blasting music or whatever it is, but usually it's probably like later at night after everyone has gone to bed. I will sometimes take my quiet time then, but whenever I can.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
you what you need. I mean, you prioritize that. But you're gonna get the workouts in with Abigail and part of her
Yeah.
practice that. But you also identified for your own wellness and mental health, mental wellness. These are the elements that I need. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And Los knows that. Your husband knows that this is I need this space. I need this time now. And for me to be the best version of myself, this is what
Yeah.
I need. And
Yeah.
he's receptive. He understands that. And you all
Well,
have
he's
that.
asleep anyway, so it won't matter. He's probably snoring, and that's why I can't get to sleep. So
I'm gonna edit that
let
out.
me
I'm
go.
gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit that out for my brother. I'm gonna edit that out for my brother.
I'm
You
sure
know,
he'll appreciate that. But yeah. So
speaking of your beautiful daughter, Abigail, she's into movement. She's as you mentioned, she does track, she does strength training, organized athletics, and you and Los are very active. You and Carlos are very
yeah.
active, very active family. Were you all intentional about exposing her to an active lifestyle, or how did that happen?
Yes. But I think early on we were really focused on probably three things. You know me. I'm probably a tiger mom, which I've been told numerous times. So academics for sure. But arts as well, because I love creativity
Mm.
and same thing, sports, some sort of movement. So
Mhm.
those are the three like focus areas. And I didn't care what it was, but we were always going to do something.
So
It could be, so we've literally tried dance, gymnastics, soccer, basketball, volleyball recently,
okay.
and track. And I never, pushed track on her. I waited until she decided she wanted to
Right.
run it. And of course, it was a friend that dragged her to it that,
Mm. Mm.
got her interested, but then it sunk in, I guess. So I didn't think she was going to make it. I thought she was going to quit and we were going back to
Wow.
try a dance or something else. But it was
Mhm.
always something, right? Because,
Mhm.
you know, I think when you look at kids these days, they weren't like when we were growing up, right? I guess
Yes.
they call us
Yeah.
the forgotten generation because parents were like, just you're out doing whatever, just go
Yeah.
outside and play.
It's
And that's what we did.
So we
Whereas,
did.
nowadays we're not just letting kids go outside and play because we're too, we much more aware of what is going on in the world. So
Yeah.
if they're going outside to play, we have to go outside with them, right? So,
Hmm.
which is,
Hmm.
it's exhausting. So and tiring. And not everybody has time for that. But we still wanted to make sure she had a good, I guess, foundation
Hmm.
for her wellness as well, like
Mm.
just staying healthy, that sort of thing.
Right, right. I mean,
So,
you all practice on a daily basis. I mean, as a home, it's part of culture, it's part of family. I mean, she sees
yes.
you and Carlos working out. Y'all eat healthy, y'all eat pretty clean. I mean, and it's
Yeah. We eat better. Jury's still out if they're
they're still
healthy.
out. Okay, okay, okay. I mean, I've been over for a few meals and they've been pretty legit, I mean, solid meals. I must say so.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. But she sees this. She sees y'all working out. She sees y'all prioritizing this. And so, and
Yes.
she saw mama run track. And she knew this, right? She knew you
Yeah.
ran
I
track.
know.
She,
She sees my trophy. At least from that 5K.
she's like, I'm gonna get me
Yes.
one of those. I'm gonna get
Yes.
me one of those. I'm gonna get me one.
Easily, she's already earned her look, this is
Yes, she has.
her coffee cup that for winning in a 5K that
Mm,
she won me because she's not gonna use it. So she's already starting to rack up her own, I guess, medals of achievements,
exactly.
so
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. I often I want to ask you, I often speak and use the hashtag remember your why you have decided
Mm,
to show up, why do you run, why you go for walks, why do you prioritize me time, why you nourish your body and your spirit the way you do. Can you share with the listeners and the viewers your why, Judith? Why you
mm.
show up?
That's a complicated one. Obviously, it's for my health, right? And, early on, my why, uh was still about me, right? Focused on like my stress and trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I'll share like a quick story because early
Please,
on
please, please.
in my legal career, this was probably a good motivator, right? Outside of stress as to my why of wanting to be healthy. But another associate attorney passed away early after we were both joining
Mm,
the law firm from a
mm,
heart attack. Like we had been a few years in, right? Like about 5 years in. So, which is still relatively early, but
yeah,
um,
yeah.
and it was so crazy. And at the time, they had legal blogs that reported on him, and they were just then at that point talking about the stress of working in a law firm and how that affects your body and whether this was a contributing factor, right? That's the point of the article was this a contributing factor, right? And to me, it was like, oh my gosh, like we were a year apart, 1 year apart. So in my mind, back, when you're young, you don't think people our age have heart attacks,
Right.
right?
No,
It's just not a
exactly.
thing.
It's not a thing. Right. Exactly. It's not a thing.
It's
Mm-mm.
like, oh, you're a healthy young person. Like you're not going to have a heart attack. So when it happened, I was like, I was already kind of thinking like, I'm getting stressed out, right? I need to
Mm.
find something to kind of relieve my stress. But
Yeah. Yeah.
once that kind of happened, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to be that, right? I don't want to be a, you know,
Hmm.
late 20-year-old, early 30-year-old passing away from a heart attack. So that was kind of not granted. There may have been some other things,
Yeah.
that was part of it. But,
Hmm.
in my mind, it's like, well, I know what I can control. So I want to make
That's
sure
right.
that I control it for myself. That is still kind of my why today, but I also view it as I want to live as long as I can because I have a child. I want to see her grow up and see
Yeah.
grandkids, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but it's still like I want to control what I can control, right? And
Hmm.
make sure I'm healthy. And I also look at my parents too, because like my mom, her parents passed away when, my gosh, my granddad was like 63. Her mom
Mm.
is in her late 50s. Her younger sister passed away in her 50s, right?
Mm.
And, a lot of the people in her family were really young when they passed away. And she's
Hmm.
always had a lot of health issues. I mean, since I was a kid. And I'm lucky because I'm relatively healthy.
Yeah.
Um, and here she is, about to be 81. And she has like
Mm.
outlived her parents, right, for like over 20 years, right?
Right.
At
Right.
least for her mom. So, and she's also, she's a nurse. So she's also very much about health and,
Okay.
making sure that you stay healthy. So, it kind of, I guess when I look at when you're being intentional about certain things, how it
Hmm.
can lengthen your lifespan, that
Hmm.
to me is important too, because that's what I want to do is make sure I'm here to maybe see grandkids should my daughter choose to have any, who knows? No pressure,
No
but at
pressure.
least but at least to see her for as long as I can.
Hmm. No, and
So,
then I thank you for saying that because I think that's one of the things that we often, I mean, out of I'd say the majority of my guests on the Movement Es Medicina podcast, it's their loving selves to offer why to a family member, their loved ones. But if we do not prioritize ourself and ensure our healthiest versions of ourselves, how are we going to
absolutely.
care for those others, whether it's a child,
Yeah.
whether it's our partner, whether it's parent, aging parents, etc. And so I appreciate you saying that. And it's not to say that you don't love others, as you mentioned, dearly. It's because you want to be there and show
Yes.
up the best version of yourself if you cannot to
Yeah.
be healthy. But it took that episode, right? It took that
Hmm.
episode to be like, oh, hey, you're a year or two ahead of me. And
Yes. When
you
I was
already?
younger, that was definitely the first impetus, right? Because I didn't have a child
Mm-hmm.
at that point, but it
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, that's a thing. We could actually like have heart attacks at this age, due to stress and other things. Right. So it
It's
was like,
wild.
okay, I need to think about this a bit more.
Mm.
Right. And
And
prioritize myself.
you were working, I mean, did you have like a fitness regimen at that point? Like, were you running at that point when you got the
Mm,
news?
a
Uh,
little bit, a little bit.
Okay.
It did change because I was running, but when I say I got more competitive, it was
Hmm.
that was around that time
Okay.
as well. But what I ended up doing is I started also taking like fitness classes, group fitness or whatever, just to do something different as well. And I enjoyed the classes or whatever, tried them out.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of strength and cardio. But I did more, I think, once I, had the colleague that was kind of like, you know, heart
Yeah.
attack, right?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
other thing too is maybe focusing more on my diet, my nutrition.
Mm.
'Cause I'll be honest, like, I must have had some good genetics because the stuff I ate from not even for like, especially once you got to college, but even as a kid,
Oh my goodness. Oh my
oh my
goodness.
god.
Oh my goodness.
You understand, my snack at work, it was like a little cup of ice cream with, like, either an Oreo cookie in there or a Reese's peanut butter cup. Who eats that? That would be like, and that was almost, I mean, oh gosh, I shouldn't even admit to this, but, it was, like, almost every day.
Mm.
It's not like I gained a ton of weight, I had a really good metabolism, luckily, but it was one of those, like, all
Mm.
that cholesterol and all that fat. This can't be good.
This can't be good. This can't be good. This can't be
So
good.
that's where I'm like, I've gotten better, right? Definitely gotten better. No more Twinkies.
No.
So
Right. 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 Right.
yes,
Right.
but but I guess I do what I can, but I'm definitely much
Right.
better. And I had to think about that,
Mm.
at least over time, right? It's
Yeah.
only gotten better over time, especially when you have
Absolutely.
a child, because at that point you're a role model, right? And so you
Yeah.
have
That's
to
right.
model what you say
That's
as
right.
best you
That's right.
can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Mm-hmm.
then also kind of within reason, because I'm also not one of those people who will say, "Oh, we're only going to have salads and and whatever healthiness and no
Yeah.
sweets." I'm like, that's realistically not me, because I just had ice cream cake for my birthday, and I'm gonna continue to have it on my birthday every single year.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to have, perspective, I guess, too, right?
And that's
So
and I appreciate you sharing that because what we ingest, what our nutrition, whatever our diet is, it shouldn't be punishment for working out. Like you said, perspective, moderation, doing your homework, preparing for what your body needs, if you're whatever your body may need, but that
yeah,
it should not be a punishment for,
yeah,
what you ingest. So I appreciate you saying that. Appreciate
yeah.
you sharing that. Let me ask you this. Who are you inspired by and why?
Mm. Oh, gosh. Um, yeah, that's such a good question. Health and wellness related?
Whomever you'd like to share.
Okay. Because I have different inspirations professionally,
Mhm.
personally. Um, let's see. Health and wellness related. I actually get most inspired by friends, our group, our community, right? Because when I hear and see the things that they're doing, um, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do that. I mean, I'm getting ready to run a 10K. I'm probably going to die because
No,
I'm
you're
not
in.
in running shape like I used to be. But I was like, I'm actually like, maybe I'll start running longer distances. It took me a while to get there. Yes. Because I was adamant, like, no, 5K, that's it. That's the most I can do. But just kind of the people around me and mostly because
Mhm.
I hear more about them on an everyday basis. It's
Mm,
so easy to look at somebody and say, "Man, that's awesome," right? Like, they're doing whatever, but I don't know what they do, right? Now it's a little bit different because now you have Instagram and you can follow everybody and they're going to
yeah.
post everything. But it's cool when we get to talk about what we're doing
Right.
when we're challenging. I don't know if I ever challenge you guys to do anything, but I'm usually the participant. um, and then even just like for example, one thing that Wendell said to me one day. Most times, I do not feel like going out for a run. Some days I'm like, oh man, I haven't run in a few days. I'm excited. I want to go run. But I'll be honest, 3 or 4 days a week of running is, yeah. Like some days, I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's too much. Like, isn't one day a week enough? Um, but I think Wendell was like, he just said to me one day, just offhand, but I was like, it stuck with me. And he's like, we don't always do it because we love it every single time, but we're dedicated, right? We do it because of that dedication, right? We
Mhm,
show up still.
mhm.
And I was like, I have to get into that mindset because this is pure dedication today, right? But it was enough to get me off the sofa, right? So
Mm,
I won't say that I have like a particular person, but it's kind of the community, right? The people that I talk to about kind of the exercise and the things that we do. So
mhm, mhm. Okay. Okay, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. And you're right. I mean, we receive inspiration from all over, whether it is our village and community, whether it's our immediate circle and family. I mean, we have
yeah,
multiple sources of inspiration, and I appreciate you sharing that because you're right. Our community that continues to show up and push us and hold us accountable to
yeah,
be our best versions of ourselves, the healthiest versions of ourselves, the best way
yes.
that we can and what
So
we have. So no, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes it's for you, it's always the next challenge. You're I'm like, "Okay, am I gonna go? I'm gonna try to do this next challenge." I think for my husband sometimes too, just the way that he cheers when I'm, like, running that last 5K, and I'm like, "I really just wanna walk right now, like, I'm dying." And that last hill just killed me. And he's like, "Come on." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll sprint then."
Yes, yes,
Like,
everyone has a
everybody
role.
offers a little bit of
That's right.
something,
That's
and it
right.
just keeps me going for sure.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Amen to that, amen to that. I wanna ask you, Judith, what comes to mind? As I mentioned earlier on in our conversation, you, Carlos, Abigail, y'all have been supporters of Movement Es Medicina since its inception and been a part of the community and the familia since its inception. What comes to mind when you hear and see Movement Es Medicina?
oh my goodness, that's a loaded question.
No, it's not, I promise. No, it's not.
I, part of it is, well, okay. What I think about it is, you know, earlier we talked about prioritizing yourself, your health. And
Mhm,
so because of the words, for example, right? It makes me think like if I were sick, I would go to the doctor, right? If I had any sort of medical issues, right, I would
mhm,
go address them. And to me, when I think of the movement is medicina, it makes me think of well, if there's something health wellness wise that I haven't addressed, right, I need to go ahead and move myself in that direction to address it, right?
Mm,
And I would anything else that I do. So, and I think sometimes, I mean, I don't know, I prioritize a doctor, but not everybody does, right? But, but when you
yes.
think about things that, you do prioritize, sometimes it's not your wellness piece of it.
Mm,
Um, I mean, we talk about it a lot. There seems to be more conversation about it, but actually doing it, right? And I have to treat it as, for me in my mind, as any sort of health issue. Because if you told me tomorrow, oh my gosh, you have cancer, I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to
mhm,
prioritize it. And it
mhm,
may not be cancer, but it might be the slow version of killing myself
mm,
through, unhealthy lifestyle, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
for me, it's like I have to treat it as, I would any sort of health thing. But then I also associate it with you, and I think of all your challenges that you like to do. It's like a little bit sort of associated with, oh my God, what's going to be the next challenge I'm going to have to push through. So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I mean, that's what I love about the community and, each guest, that is shared. I mean, it's such a variety and an array of responses. I mean, whatever pushes them, whatever motivates them, and I mean, whatever reminds them
yeah,
to do, to be, to strive for. And I appreciate that transparency. Thank you for sharing that. I
I'm
asked
gonna
my
have to ask one day
how,
how you ended up with the name and the
ah,
movement.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I appreciate that. We do need to
Mhm.
discuss that a little more, a little more. I asked Judith, my a previous guest, give me a question. They have no idea who you are, who my next guest was going to be. So give me a question you want me to ask them. So here it is. It's a little surprise question for you. What's your favorite
Mm.
love story?
Oh gosh. That is an odd question. My favorite love story. Gosh. Well, I guess it's personal to me too, but personal to all mothers. The love of a mother and a child
Mm.
for their child, right? So different than your
No, no, whatever it is for
That's
you, whatever it is for you, whatever it is for you.
yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about that question is because of how everyone defines love and what relationship they want to share around love. And is it a partner? Is it a mother, a parent? Is it a child? Is it a role model? Is it whatever? Or
Yeah.
a stereotypical,
Yeah.
person's falling in love story. So
Oh, I love all of that, to be honest. The amount of romance that I watch, especially during Hallmark season, and books.
you too. No, I'm
Yes,
kidding. I'm
yes.
kidding. No, I I
So
I I
I
think
I
it's a
do love those as well, but I also love the parental love, right?
mhm,
It's a different type of love, I would say, but
mhm.
it's one that I think has stretched me. So in different ways, both good and bad. So,
Thank you.
but
Thank
it's
you for sharing that.
yeah.
I appreciate that. So on the flip side of that question, give me a question for my next guest. You don't know who they're gonna be. You may or not know them, but give me a question that you want me to ask them.
Okay. I was thinking I would be curious to know if they're on within their health and wellness journey,
Mhm.
if there was something that they used to do that they stopped doing because it no longer served them, what that was and why they stopped.
Okay. Along the
Do you have an
wellness
answer for
journey.
that one?
I do, but I'm gonna
You
save that
do?
for my next guest. Yes, for me, yes. I know, it came quick for me,
Yeah.
but I wanna save that for my next guest because, yeah, it just didn't serve me no longer in my
Absolutely.
in my what I call healing journey, as I think it's synonymous with my wellness journey and for my physical and mental health, but my healing journey, yeah, it just didn't serve me no more and had to
Yeah.
really do a lot of introspection and prayer for me to, like, what do I need to feel that? To feel my spirit, to fuel
Yeah.
my soul. So I think it's a fantastic question. It's a fantastic question. So thank you.
I'm always curious to hear what people say.
Mm, so stay tuned. Stay
I
tuned.
will stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. The
Absolutely.
next guest. The next guest. I'll get a chance to ask that question. But Judith Rawls, Esquire, thank you so much for your time. I am grateful for you, for your family, for Carlos, for Abigail, and being a part of our community, our village. I'm constantly inspired by you all and just love you all dearly. I truly am. I can't wait for our listeners and our viewers to see this episode. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us, not only me, sharing with us your journey and indulging with us in this conversation around Movement Es Medicina. So I
Yes.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Right.
Mi gente, remember, recognize your dopeness. I believe we are all dope educated individuals. Like this episode, ask us questions, give us feedback, follow me on IG at Super Mark Rock as well as Movement Medicina, or on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify Podcasts at Movement Medicina. So thank you, Ms. Rawls, for your time. Mi gente, gracias, paz y luz. Oh.